FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
About that. In terms of I use the methods of anthropology, so as many of you know, I am always on a plane and impossible to catch because I have to spend a lot of time on the ground. And one of the things that when we first got I was very glad to be on this panel, we got our questions. Capitalism is not practiced the same way the world over, and the notion of what the role of business is supposed to be in a country really varies depending on the context in that country, both in a positive, there is not one capitalism. It is so hard to help MBAs understand that capitalism, it's a made-up thing, right? It is not, and countries do it different ways. So I think one of the most important things as a business professor that I have to do is do comparative studies, to make students, force them to understand that it's played out different ways so that they look at their own assumptions about what their system is based on. So the reason why I was torn is Tamwil is a company in Dubai that is an Islamic mortgage company. And because, this is much too simplistic, but because you can't charge interest, to come up with products, to do the home finance is actually relatively complicated. And this company, which is run by a very, very young team, has been quite successful in terms of profit and risk management. The team includes, the head of it was a man who was 33 years old who ran the ports, part of the ports in Dubai before he became the head of this company. And it was started with the Sovereign Fund, which has a long-term view, we have to assume with Citigroup and everything else. But anyway, long-term view about what they're up to. But this company is now listed. So it's actually a separate piece. But when they came up with the thing about it, turns out that their brand is something that they refer to as inclusively Islamic. And if you look at any of their ads, there's a woman in a burqa reaching her hand out to a little girl who's blonde and blue-eyed, as an example, inclusively Islamic. Because the reason why he was selected to do the business is that the sheikh wants him to make this a global business. And for those of you in the financial world, you know that Islamic banking is there's a tremendous market there. So they've set everything up to be, quote, inclusively Islamic. And their measures, the metrics that were included were based on a set of values, because part of it, going back to success for them, is it has to be Islamic. It has to fit how you're supposed to treat people. And so their values are preserving confidentiality, inclusively Islamic, caring professionalism, reliability, and teamwork. We are a blend of financial stability and ethics, a fusion of traditional values and progressive outlook, providing world-class service, cutting-edge technology, and unparalleled professionalism. And for each of those words, they actually have developed metrics that are on their intranet that everyone has to look at for their piece of the business every week. And what's interesting about this is I assumed, naively, because I'm ignorant, that they would have Islamic customers. The majority of their customers are not Muslims, because it turns out that Islamic law makes you be very transparent when you're doing dealings with your customers and makes you educate your customers about exactly what they're getting themselves into. So their strategy is affordable housing, not luxury housing. So because they would argue, based on their values of Islamic tradition and how you must treat people, they've actually been able to create a customer service model that is allowing them to have triple-digit growth and manage their risk very well according to all the measures of risk that when I ask people about this particular bank. So again, looking at success and looking at what the metrics are, they wrote these words down, and if you go on their intranet, there is a metric or a set of metrics that captures each of those words for how they're going to measure success.